Okay, so after defining his sammasara, I'm just talking about the how. So his sammasara is his born is very auspicious sammasara. Now you will say that how every person in 1 year, almost number of people, thousands, crores of people are born. So, but almost all these kinds of virtues will be found in that person. Now, that person's level, because of placement of the planets, the person's life will be maybe of limited resources, or middle level type of resources, or upper level type of, or high level of resources he might have. Whatever resources he will have, the person will be very auspicious in his activities, very kind, very kind. Shwata karma karta means his activities will be, or his karmas will be very auspicious, very auspicious. Sat karma karta, very good activities he will do, or very beneficial activities for others he will do. This is Sat karma karta Vijayi Visheshat. Vijayi Visheshat means the person will be very victorious in all fields of his life. This is this. Kanto means very brilliant. He will have brilliance. He will have brilliance means in all the thinking will be very powerful. He will be very can think about his future from distant level. Distant future can be thought about by him. He can remember always. His memory will be very sharp. So Kanto Vinita, and very kind person. His speech will be, or his speaking will be very good to others. Means not hurting others, but very much positive to others. Always speaking kind words to others. Now come to the point. Shubhadrakti. And now, because 8th sign, Scorpio sign is in the Lagna, or Mars is there, undoubtedly his speaking will be very much, comparing the person with different kind of examples and this and that. Okay, so that person, speaking will be, his speaking in this case is very beneath. Beneath means very kind, very auspicious to others. Shubhadrakti Pravino. And Shubhadrakti Pravino means his sight will be very auspicious one, Shubh, kindful, or very kind. Okay, or you will not find, mostly not thinking about others' mistakes and this and that, always doing his own activities. This is how Shubhadrakti Pravino. And Pravino means he will be very much powerful, or Praveen means very active in all fields. Praveen means in this case powerful. Okay, very much powerful. Pravino, Shubhadrakti Pravino, and his sight will be very auspicious one, good one. Yeah, Shobhakrat Sarasambhava Shah. All these activities will be possible in his life. This is how this samvatsara, 37 samvatsara. Now, how samvatsara is calculated? Let me just give you some hint of this, right? So that one can find out. Now, in this case, he is born in Devagana. About Devagana, let me just define all these things. Then I'll talk about that how samvatsara is calculated, just as I've defined. Then let me just define here. Now, this 37 samvatsara, which is Shobhanakrata. This name is Shobhanakrata samvatsara. Shobhanakrata or Shobhen samvatsara. In some books it is given Shobhen, and some say Shobhanakrata. Both names are given. Shobhanakrata means his activities of Krit. Activities will be very Shobh, auspicious one. This is obvious that he is always thinking about all the people of the country as a prime minister. Okay, or even in his political life, he has not done anything wrong to others. Okay, always thinking about country, always doing auspicious things, positive things to others, thinking about the poor people. All right, so this is how auspicious things he will do. Because samvatsara is like this. As I have seen that most of the people's samvatsara, I have seen that samvatsaras are defining the person. Why? Because two major planets, Saturn and Jupiter, their rays are every year very influencing one. They are influencing the native who is born in that year. Okay, and those rays are always effective in his full life or whole life, right? That whole life is influenced by the rays of those two planets, and this is, I have found, very effective, very positive one, or very much useful one. But mostly I find that in which samvatsara a person is born. And from that very samvatsara I can understand that where the position of the Saturn and Jupiter will be there. And due to this position here, samvatsara, Jupiter is aspecting Saturn, Saturn is aspecting Jupiter, they are opposite to each other in this case. And because of that, they are this very auspicious samvatsara, right? So this kind of samvatsara, positive, position of Jupiter and Saturn gives us samvatsara, particular samvatsara. This is how samvatsara are defined. So I'll just talk about that. Now come to the point that how samvatsara is calculated. We'll just define this also. Now this two major events I've talked about already. So let me remove this now. Okay, the period which is these two major events of becoming Chief Minister of Gujarat. On 3rd October he replaced Keshubhai Patel. 3rd October, 7th October I think he took oath. On that day, particular day, Rahu was there. Rahu is in the 5th house. Now 5th or Jupiter's sign. Pisces sign is there, 12th sign is there. Pisces sign. Rahu is also positive because in Guru's sign they say that Guru's sign, Jupiter's sign, which is this Mercury, and Sagittarius also. Sagittarius and Pisces, these two signs are owned by Jupiter. So in Jupiter's sign, because Rahu is positive, considered positive, right? So in the 5th house is giving diplomacy to the person in this case. Rahu posited in 12th house or in the 5th house or 12th sign, Pisces sign, is giving very much diplomacy to the person. Person will be very diplomatic. Diplomat means a good politician. Thinking about from distant things he can think about. He can imagine about almost all kinds of events in regarding the politics, right? So this is how Rahu has given him diplomacy, very diplomatic nature. Now come to the point. So this is how samvatsara is defined. Now let me talk about how samvatsara of a person is calculated. For example, in this case I have taken, let me take 1950 here. He is born in 1950 year. 1950 year is the date of birth of his, right? Year of birth. Now plus we add here 57 years. Now it has turned it into Bikram Samvatsara, right? Bikram era. Plus we add here 9 plus 1, 10. We add here 10. Let me take 10 here. 9 plus 10 is always added up after this, making it into Bikram era or Bikram Samvatsara. We can take Bikram year, right? Bikram year is 1950, whatever Christian era or Christian year is given. Add 57 to that, it turns it into Bikram Samvatsara or Bikram year. So Bikram year is this, Bikram Samvatsara is this. Now plus add 10, now divided by 60. So whatever remainder comes, that remainder will give the name of the Samvatsara. What is the number of Samvatsara? In this case it will be 57 is 67, so let me add 67 here. 10 plus 57 is 67. Add 67 here, this is 7. 5 plus 6 is 11, 1, and this is 20, 20, 17. If I divide it by 60, right? So whatever quotient comes, quotient doesn't matter. Only remainder will give us that what is the remainder. That remainder is the number of Samvatsara. Now divide it by 60. If I multiply this by 33, let me multiply this by 33. So 6, 0, 0, 6, 3 are 18, 8, 1, 6, 3 are 18 and 1, 19, 1980. Now if I subtract 1980 from 1980 from 2017, what is the remainder then? So subtract this 7, 11 minus 8 is 30, 3. 11 minus 8 is 3, and this is 7, 7, 37th. The 37th is the Samvatsara, right? If suppose any person is born in 1960, then 10 is added up here, that will be 47 then, okay? That way we calculate this. So this is the process, how to calculate. Divide by 60, the number of your Bikram year, and then add 10 there, plus 10, okay, and divide it by 60. So that will give us your number of Samvatsara, particular Samvatsara. This I will just define the names of each Samvatsara. I will put 60 Samvatsara and what are their characteristics. I will define that in one of the lectures of mine regarding astrology, okay, Vedic astrology. So that is very important one, and you will just find yourself that yeah, these qualities are found in a person. And even I have found most of the these samachar are very very fruitful, very effective, defining one. The names are defining a person's personality. I have seen that. Okay, now come to the next point. Now, what are these things? So, Anuradha Nakshatra I have talked about. In the Anuradha Nakshatra, a person is very much, again, very brilliant, or okay, all kinds of this. Anuradha Nakshatra is also very positive because it's a Devgana. Anuradha Nakshatra is, there are 3 kinds of nakshatras. 9 nakshatras are in Devgana, 9 are in Manushya right? And 9 are in Rakshasagana. Now, I think that astrologically, mostly, the people's personality or native's personality is defined. Okay, a person is a Brahmin, is a Kshatriya, is a Vaishya or whatever. Okay, so that quality, I think, initially the rishis defined a person's native or native's quality, native's virtues by astrologically only, not by birth and this and that. Later, the Brahmins are, they are Kshatriya there. These kinds of castes have, come out. But initially, astrologically, the person's personality is defined as a Brahmin. If he is a Brahmin Varna, his Varna is, in this case, Brahmin. You can see the activity of Mr. Modi. He is always just like acting like a Brahmana. Okay, Brahmin's activity. What are the Brahmin's activity? Okay, doing worshipping. Okay, always reading, writing, is reading the scriptures as well, respecting gurus or his teachers. Whoever is teaching him, is giving him knowledge, he will respect that person, right? Always respecting his teachers. So this is how. So the respecting teachers, right? Whosoever has given him knowledge or good thing, he will respect him, that person. So that is how a person is respectful. Brahmins, whatever Brahmins activities are there, the rishis have defined the Brahmins activities, whatever. But now people are say that okay, the boy is born in a Brahmin family, so he is a Brahmin. No, I have found that person's activities are different from Brahmin's activities, right? So we cannot say that, and a person born in a Shudra family is working like a Brahmin. So I think astrologically, if we define, that is the actual thing. A person will act like a Brahmin, like a Kshatriya, like a Shudra, like a Vaishya. His person's business, he is a businessman, or he is a Shudra, or he is a what kind of person will be, is defined astrologically very clearly, right? And that is the actual thing a person's nativity defines, right? Is defined. So that is being defined astrologically. I think initially rishis formed all these kind of things through the astrology, right? He is a Brahmin born, or he is a Kshatriya born, the person will have. Okay, so his basic attitude is just like a Brahmin. He will worshipping type, always doing worshipping, or that will give him all kinds of what you call good things. Publicity will be given to him due to these activities, just like a Brahmin. So his Varna is Brahman. His born is a Varna, Brahmin Varna. This is how astrologically defined. Devgana is his nakshatra, quality of nakshatra is Devgana, right? So because his Anuradha nakshatra he is born. So Devgana nakshatra is Anuradha nakshatra. So his born is Devgana. Nadi is Madhya. That is, these things are utilized at the time of a person's marriage. Okay, so because we always match the the horoscopes of the two persons. Okay, the two partners, whosoever you are marrying. Even a person is going to start a business, for example, with another partner. If their horoscopes are matching, then those two people will be very, very much helping. Well, their activities will be very fruitful to each other. But if suppose the horoscopes are not matching, the matching qualities or virtues are not effective, not good, then the person will fight with each other. After they will start the business, but business will suffer afterwards. This is how the matching of the horoscopes of a partner, of a wife and husband, or boy and girl, they are being done by the rishis, and this is 100% true. If a person is not given a wrong data of his time of birth, date of birth, place of birth, because sometimes people are just cheating. They find that boy is very from good family. The girl's parents will just give wrong data. If the girl's data are not good, they find that girl's horoscope is not good, and just to make it good with the help of some wrong people, wrong panditas or wrong Vedic astrologers, they will find that how my daughter will get married with this person, please match this. So they will know what you call make that very wrong one. So these kind of activities are doing. So then the person can suffer in his life. But if the virtues of the two people are matched together after 60 gunas, what are those 60 gunas? I can define that. 1, 2, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you add these, there are 36 quality of 36 virtues. If out of these 36 virtues of the person, in which gana both are there, I mean, husband's gana is suppose Dev gana, wife is something Manush gana or Rakshas gana. Okay, then they are not going to, match each other. They will fight all throughout their life. This is how Dev gana, Rakshas gana, if both are there. So these virtues or things are 36 virtues or gunas. They are matched at the time of marriage. This is 100% true. If the persons are giving the true data, then 100% true predictions goes. But if the person is giving wrong data, then the problem comes. Okay, then they will have that. Okay, we match the horoscope, but even then we are fighting with each other. So this kind of things are there. We have checked a number of times, as I found that number of people who are just saying that both husband and wife are having more than 30 virtues matching. For example, 34, 32 out of 36. Then what kind of condition is there in their life? That whatever the person is thinking, husband is thinking, wife is thinking the same way. They will be very fruitful. For example, as one of my colleagues was saying, that when his mother was thinking something that today there must be a sweet in the house. Okay, then what is happening? The husband is coming with sweet in his hand in the evening. Just thinking the same way. This is how they are matching. So compatibility of the two people is very positive in that case. But if compatibility is just negative or is not matching, then that kind of activity happens. So this is how the matching of the horoscopes of the people. If the two partners are running a business, for example, their horoscopes are matched. Okay, can be matched. If they are matching, then they can start a business. Very fruitful business can be there. This is second thing we will talk about next day. Now come to point. Okay, so this is what I have talked about. That his virtues are what kind of virtues he is born in a day. So Sunday was there a day. Paksha is Shukla Paksha, very good Paksha. So there is dark Paksha, or that is known as Shukla Paksha. Okay, so in the bright moon time or period he is born. Okay, so this is Shukla Paksha. He is born in Shukla Paksha. Yoga is Vishkam Yoga. His qualities are also good. I have seen. Then Nakshatra is Anuradha Nakshatra, second quarter. Out of 4 quarters, he is born in second quarter. These second quarter, 4 quarters are giving the initial timing, the initial period, how much time he will utilize after birth. Okay, so he is born in second quarter. First quarter is gone. So second quarter, beginning of the second quarter, he is born. So that means he will get out of 19 years of Saturn, because Saturn is the lord of Anuradha Nakshatra. So Saturn's period initially he might have opted. Saturn's period, right? Now, why I'm taking these horoscopes? Because this horoscope is known to almost all the people, or virtues of Prime Minister are known to all the people. So because of that, this teaching, this can be taken by people as a learning process. That's why I have taken this horoscope here, right? Otherwise, I was just that predicted in 2017. I predicted that this will happen. But why I am taking this and that? This is just to teach the people who want to know something about how the horoscope is done, how horoscope is being discussed about, and what are the yogas and all these things people are discussing about. But some say that no, you are knowing the mathematics also, astronomically you are very perfect one. Knowing some astrology or whatever the basics of astrology are there, how to calculate longitude, latitude, etc. You know about, you can define all these things in a better manner. Because of that, we want from you, right? That's why I have taken the request of my people whosoever has suggested all these things or asked me to do this. That's why I have taken this horoscope, right? Otherwise, so and through this horoscope, people will learn a lot of things. How the samachars are calculated. I just talked about samachara. Okay, you can find out, and how the people's, how your time is beneficial, which time is beneficial, which time is not beneficial. Okay, I'll talk about that. Now, in this case, he is having different kind of yogas. What are the yogas? The conjunction of planets in the horoscope. That is also, I'll take that. But because I've written down here number of yogas here, important yogas I have taken here. Otherwise, he is having about 68 types of yogas. Out of that 35 yogas, I just thinking initially that let me take 35 yogas, and they are important one. They are also defining the conditions of the person's life. What are the positive signs? What are the negative signs of the person? What he will have in his life? Okay, all these things are defined in the life of a person. So native life is being defined with the help of these yogas also. Conjunction of the planets also. Conjunctions, I mean how the planets are placed in the horoscope, and they are forming different kind of yoga positions. Yoga means conjunctions, combinations of those positions or those planets are giving us different kind of yogas. And those yogas are also very self-defining. They will give you a lot of things. Let me talk about the yoga. Before taking yogas, let me take. Okay, so these things. So Devgana, he is born in Devgana. So what is Rakshasgana? Devgana, Devgana, Manushyagana. These nakshatras are, for example, 9 and 9 nakshatras are Devgana in category of Devgana, 9 are in Manushyagana, and 9 are in Rakshasgana. These 27 nakshatras are there, constellations are there. Or constellations or nakshatras are 27. So 9, 9, 9. So these 3 are divided into, or put into 3 categories: Devgana, Rakshasgana, Manushyagana. I'll define them afterwards when I take the lecture series, and how these and the quality of the persons are defined by the nakshatras also. For example, Devgana, the person's activity will be very positive, very auspicious one, will be a studious person, will be respecting others, or his teachers, gurus, doing auspicious things, positive, worshipping. All these things are, whatever the things are done by Devgan people, I mean, those people who are just, they are compromising type of people. They will always take compromising attitude, right? His attitude is not fighting, quarreling with others, no, nothing. Let us change our life and go other way. Take the right path. If something is obstacle, people are opposing you, then you take another another path. This is how Devgan people are doing. Okay, they take always the auspicious thing, always thinking about future, not involving themselves into fighting or all those things which are time wasting. Right? Time wasting activities are not done by Devgan people. What the Manushyagana people do, Manushyagana nakshatras, mostly Purva nakshatra, Purva Sar, Uttar Sar, Purva and Uttar, these are six nakshatras, and 3 more nakshatras, which are, I think, Revati. There are 3 more nakshatras, Revati, Ardra nakshatra, and 1 more is there. These are the total 9 Manushyagana, nakshatra. What are the Manushyagana nakshatra? Purva, Uttar Sar, Purva Sar, and Purva Bhadpad, Uttar Bhadpad, and there are 2 more. Okay, so I can just write them also here. That's not a problem. But I'm just defining how 9 planets, 9 nakshatras are in Devgana category, and 9 are in Manushyagana category, 9 are in Rakshasgana category. What is Rakshasgana category? There are, for example, Jyeshtha nakshatra. Jyeshtha nakshatra is Rakshasgana nakshatra, right? And that kind of people, people born in these kind of nakshatra, which are Rakshasgana nakshatra, they are very hot-tempered people. Hot-tempered people fighting sometimes in the wherever they will live, they will fight with each other. Okay, or if they will not fight with the people of the Rakshasgana, because how the horoscopes are matched. If Rakshasgana, suppose boys' horoscope is matched with the Rakshasgana girls' boy, they are mostly very compromising, very helping nature type. Okay, both are of the same nature. So in that way, how these horoscopes are matched with the boys and girls, that is done at that time. So this is how Rakshasgana and Rakshasgana, Devgan will also run with Manushyagana, because Manushyagana people, or Manushyagana born, nakshatra which are Manushyagana, or representing Manushyagana people, they are very much respectful to the Devgan people. Devgan and Manushyagana can compromise with each other, no problem at all. But with Rakshasgana, Devgana, they are fighting with each other. they say, always fighting, not compromising with each other. And what about Rakshasagana and Manushagana? Manushagana people will be killed or will have to finally, eliminated by Rakshasagana people. Rakshasagana will not compromise with. But Devgana and Rakshasagana. This is how, all these things are defined in astrology, right? They should teach the astrological events or activities or nakshatra qualities. I think these stories are framed just to teach astrology. That is what I think about, because all these things that Rakshas and demons and gods, they were having fighting with nothing. These stories are just framed to teach the astrology in the proper manner. All the nakshatra, just to match the people, the quality of the people are being matched with these kinds of activities. Because you can find your friends in your society, in the class, in your own family, you can find that your brother, your sister may be of different nature. You are of different nature, but other is all totally opposite nature. Why? They are having different kind of nakshatra bond, right? Your nakshatra is of second kind, other kind. Devgana, or maybe they have Rakshasagana, or Manushagana they are having. So, that kind of activities are happening everywhere, wherever you are living. You will find that people are of different nature. Some are very much compromising with you. Why? Because their moon is having the same kind of position in their horoscope, just according to yours, right? Very positive one according to yours. That is how they are matching friendly people. Okay, this is how society is being divided. This is how astrology defines. The Vedic astrology is very much vast, thing, completely defining the life. Okay, was how the people's having friends and this and that. If you just frame the horoscope, cast the horoscope of another person, and you understand this person is just like you. And I have found this 100% true. The people who are of the same kind of nakshatra they are born, they are having very good friendship. I have found this. Devgana with Devgana, Rakshasagana with Rakshasagana, Manushagana with Manushagana. They will appreciate with each other. They appreciate each other, right? That is how these natures of the people are defined with the astrology, with the help of astrology. Now, in this case, he is Devgana. Now, he will be opposed by who? The people who are of Rakshasagana nakshatras. The people who are born with Rakshasagana nakshatras, or their nakshatra is of category of Rakshasagana, they will oppose him. But Manushagana and Devgana, those people will appreciate him. This is how the nature of the people is defined. Okay, so this is how the majority of the people will appreciate him. Reason is Devgana and Manushagana. These two category people will find good quality in him. This is how the astrology says. Now, this is how friendship or the society, friendship in the society, friendship in the country is being framed or being formed, right? So this is how the astrology defines the person's nature or a person's nature, or nativity of a person is defined in this way. Okay, we can just take one horoscope. I can go through this for a number of days, a week or months or years. I can define each virtue of a person with the help of astrological things, because astrology is complete science, super science. I think I say always super science, because activities are happening in a proper manner if you know the right time of the person. This is the only requirement I always say. If the person's of date of birth, time of birth, place of birth are exact one, mostly time of birth, exact time of birth is given, or date of birth is also exact one, then a person's horoscope is 100% true. His events will be just defined according to whatever events are happening, okay, or whatever time is given to us. So that is how the astrology is completely defining a person's life. No other thing can define a person in this way. As psychology, nothing. Psychology is just half thing, cannot define, cannot predict anything about a person's life. But astrology, Vedic astrology is defining everything. As I have already defined that how Western astrology and other astrologies and the Vedic astrology is different, because Vedic astrology has the predictive power. It has prediction power, or can predict our future life, can predict our person's activities. Everything can be defined with the help of Vedic astrology. And all these things are just what you call organs of astrology. Samachar, I just told you about how Samachar is defining a person's quality, a person's virtues. This is how Samachar defines. Even the person's nakshatra, in which nakshatra person is born, in which ascendant person is born, lagna, how about the position of the planet. Let me take the yogas. What yogas are formed? Yoga is my third venture of this. I've talked about this time period. That during this time period he will have in the Rahu period, I'll define this later when he will become